Hello, welcome to another Retro Core, and today we're going to be taking a look at another item from China known as the PowKiddy. Yeah, seriously, the PowKiddy. Okay. Now this device was supplied to the Retro Core channel from Tomtop, who are now selling this device. So I'm going to put a couple of links in the video description down below if you are interested in buying this. But before you click on those links, check out to see what I got to say about it, because you never know, this could be a load of crap. We don't know. So that's what we're here to find out. Now, first thing is the box. As you can see, it's pretty non-descriptive, and I've just made a line on it there with my fingers. That's kind of weird. On the back of the box, absolutely nothing. It's plain white. Hope that stays in focus here. We've got a bit of information, but it's mostly in Chinese. On the other side, just the PowKiddy logo. Inside the box, we don't get much. We get this little leaflet here, which is the instruction manual. And unusually for this type of device, it's written mostly in Chinese. Normally these things have English on one side and Chinese on the other, but this one is pretty much all in Chinese. Also in the box, we get this little quality assurance stamped card to say it's passed QA. And we get a really nasty pair of headphones. Yeah, you just know they're going to be bad. So don't bother with those. And finally in the box we also get a USB micro charging cable, which is good because you could use this on your Android phone as well, as long as it wasn't USB-C. So how about the device itself? Well, here it is. Just take a look at that. That is a pretty big device. It actually has a 7-inch screen on it, which is fairly large for this type of product. And I'm not joking when I tell you that the finish on it is really good. It has a very silky touch to it. Kind of like it's been rubberized, but it's not sticky or feels nasty or anything. It's very smooth, and across the top here it's all metal, which is a nice surprise. It's metal all the way around. And on the back we have the speaker grill and a pretty awful camera. Yeah, you can't expect a good camera on this type of device. We got the PowKiddy logo there and a little sticker here. Not sure what that's all about. And as you can see, this is an 8GB unit, so it's got 8GB of internal storage. Across the top of the machine, we got a couple of switches, so let's take a look at those. We've got a volume up and down here. We've got a little reset hole, the micro USB in, which can be used to charge the device and also transfer data to and from the device. We've got a headphone TV out socket here. We've got a return button to exit the emulators and the power on button. On the front of the device, we've got buttons which represent the D-pad. We have one D-pad here and another D-pad here. They look like analog D-pads, but they're actually digital. And they basically recreate the exact same function that these buttons do. So this one, push down, actually does the same thing as B. Push sideways, it does the same thing as A. So it's not a dual analog device, but all the emulators on it can have the controls reconfigured. So I guess you could set this up as a dual analog device. And we have a start and select button here. And seriously, these buttons do feel good. They feel just as good as the type of buttons you'd get on an official controller from Sony or Microsoft. They do feel fine. I mean, nothing to complain about. So let's boot up the system. Switch it on here, just hold down the on button and we should get power. Yep, we do. Now while that's booting up, I'll let you know that it has a 1800 milliamp battery and it can take SD cards up to 32GB. In fact, I forgot about the SD card slot. It's very discreetly put down here on the side. So let's go and get an SD card and put it in. Here we go with the micro SD card. I've got this loaded up with ROMs and stuff. In we go. All right. So let's just adjust the camera so we can get a better look at this screen. So as we can see, the machine has a typical layout of one of these devices. Nothing special there, apart from this one seems to be made for a touchscreen. As you can see, we've got a home button here and a back button here. And pressing them doesn't seem to do anything because this machine doesn't have a touch panel, but they certainly look like they're made for the touch panel. Down at the bottom of the screen, we've got various options such as video, music, the camera, which I did mention before is pretty awful. And just to show you, here's a picture I took with it just before. Yep, that's not too good, is it? Okay, we've got an ebook reader. We have a dictionary, which is kind of weird. Let's just take a look at that. See, again, we've got like the QWERTY keyboard, but it looks like it's designed for the touch panel. But again, this is not a touch panel. Let's see if the word retro is in this dictionary. Retro. All right. And return. Yep, I guess that's retro, but it's in Chinese, so yeah, it's a Chinese dictionary. Retro engine. Yeah, okay. See, you've got like a button here as well, so yeah, it's definitely, see on the back button here, so it's definitely designed for the touch panel, this front end. But we can access pretty much everything by just using the controls on the device. We got some tools in here. Let's take a quick look at what tools we have. A stopwatch, a voice recorder, a calculator. Yep, that's a pretty in-depth calculator there. We've got a calendar, which is set to 2012. Great. Got a DV. I'm not sure what that is. Maybe digital video recorder. Yes, it's booted up the camera, which you can't see anything because it's flat on the table. So yeah, it will record video. And we can actually use this as a PC camera as well. Interesting. And here we got another option. Looks like an Internet Explorer, but basically it's just a way to browse all the different categories separately. And we got the setup option here. So we can change the display settings and various aspects there. Let's take a look at the games because I know that's what you want to see. And this device is actually sold as a Capcom CPS and Neo Geo game emulating device. So let's see how well those games are emulated. So we got two choices here. We've got inner games and exit games. Inner games is the built-in games. It has around about 80 games built in for Capcom CPS and Neo Geo. And exit games is basically the micro SD card, what you've got on there. Okay, so we got a recent run list, so you can see stuff which I've been playing on it. Yeah, Pokemon Game Boy Advance, it does play Game Boy Advance games. But let's go straight to the directory list. Okay, and let's choose a game. Alright, what have we got? We got some Neo Geo there, Burning Fight, Cross Swords, Captain Tomato, whatever it's called. Cyberlip, Dino Crisis. I'm not going to put that on because I always put that on. Fatal Fury 2, Final Fight, Fighting Fever, Flipshot, Forgotten Worlds. Let's give Forgotten Worlds a try. Okay, now one thing that you really will like about this device is you can change the aspect ratio. Just take a look at this. We can have scale, which is basically what it should be, but it fills up the screen. Full screen, which is stretched to hell. Or original size, which basically gives you a game image about this big in the middle of the screen. So this is probably a 720p screen, I would imagine. So scale is the way to go. Okay, let's start the game. Now, as you can see, it does take a little while for the game to load, but not too long. Pressing the select button will insert a credit. And pressing start will start the game. Okay, got my rotation going there. Where's my fire button? There it is. as you can see, the emulation is pretty good. I'm pretty bad at playing the game because I'm playing it on an angle. Now to get out of the game, we press the return button on the top of the device, and we can press the B button and go back and select a new game. Let's take a look at Ghouls and Ghosts. Okay, I can hear there that the sound emulation is not perfect, but it's not too bad. Oh, bloody duck. As you can see here, I've got the machine set to original size. So the image is a little tiny thing in the middle of the screen, which is not ideal. So we'll hit the back button. And what I'll do is I'll just save the game actually. I'll just do a save state. Just in case I got to reset the game. Yes, yes please, save state that. And we'll change the options. Screen size. And what we'll do is we'll go to scale, which should make it the correct aspect ratio, but fill the screen. Okay. And let's return to game. Here you go, much better. Now to be honest, this is what SNK should have brought out, something like this, instead of the Neo Geo Mini. Wow, playing this on an angle is not easy. Okay, let's check out a few more of the built-in games. Okay, it's Muscle Bomber Duo, and one thing I have just noticed, the Capcom games don't allow you to change the screen resolution. Basically, that is set to standard, but it's all stretched beyond belief. So let's quickly see if we can change that. I'm sure I set it to scaled. Alright, well let's try full screen, see what happens there. No, same thing. So it looks like you cannot actually change the aspect ratio on the Capcom CPS games, which is a shame. And Muscle Bomber, by the way, is going to be the next Battle of the Ports video. Which I wish I didn't say because that's going to date this video now. But never mind. Okay, next game. Okay, here we go. A fighting game. It's going to show us if the joystick is actually any good. Oh, hang on. Where's my fire button? Oh, there it is. Fire button? My punch button? Nope, it's not too good. Let's try and use the standard button, see if that works. Nope. Alright, these thumbsticks are not very good for fighting games, that's for sure. But for the other games, it seems to be fine. Okay, so we're taking a look at some SNK and Capcom games there. I mean, it has a lot of good games on it. On the Capcom side, we've got things like The Punisher, Final Fight, Street Fighter Championship Edition is in there too, so there's some good stuff. But what I'm interested in is seeing what other machines this plays which are not really advertised. Let's take a look. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I've got this SD card loaded up with some games, so let's take a look and see how it handles those games. Oop, that's not my list of games there. What's going on here? Tell you what we'll do, we'll go to the browser. Now this is kind of weird. I can't seem to find any way to access the SD card. Very unusual. Going to games and picking the games, so the exit games, just takes you to these two built-in games. One of them is a Super Famicom game that doesn't seem to emulate very well. Super Street Fighter 2. It's too fast. That's crazy. Is it playable? I can do fireballs. Can I do a hurricane kick? Yes, I can. Dragon Punch. Maybe asking to do a Dragon Punch is too much. Oh, there we go. I take it back. The thumbstick is pretty good. Just World Heroes was pretty crap, that's all. Ow! Ow, shit! Whoa. Right, guys, I'm not joking. Ow. The SD card is actually extremely hot. Let me just get that out. Ow, shit! I'm not joking. This is really hot. Let me just switch on the camera light. Oh, ow. That is so hot. Ow, Jesus. Yeah, it's cooled down now. Yep, this machine is definitely heating up on the inside there. That was pretty hot here on the side. Let's see if we can get it to read again. Alright, well the SD card's definitely in there. Let's get the screen back on. Turn off the light. See if we can access the games now. No, we can still not access the SD card. I don't know how to access the SD card. There's no options on any of the screens. Okay, well, yeah. Let's take a look at some of the built-in games then. Okay, so we have Samurai Showdown there, Astro Boy, that's going to be a Game Boy Advance game. Punisher, that's Capcom CPS. Fatal Fury, that's Neo Geo, we've seen Neo Geo. Pokemon, I'm sure some of you would like to see Pokemon. Let's boot that up. This is going to be a Game Boy Advance game. How well does it emulate this? Well, I'm happy to see it's the correct aspect ratio on the screen. As you can see, the Game Boy Advance screen isn't true 16:9, so that is actually correct for the Game Boy Advance. I mean, we could stretch it out to the full screen though, if we wanted to. Oh, it's in Chinese. But it does seem to be emulating fairly well. I have no interest in Pokemon. Sorry guys. Bye bye. Okay, let's see what else we can get up. Okay, Tekken. This is going to be the Game Boy Advance Tekken for sure. Let's see how it handles that. That's working very well. Lovely. Okay, let's take a look at another game. Here we go with Golden Axe 3 on the Mega Drive. So far we know this plays Capcom CPS, Neo Geo, Super Nintendo. It plays regular Nintendo as well. That's pretty much perfect as always on these things. And yeah, it's playing Mega Drive, and so far so good. Oh, and it plays Game Boy Advance games, as we also found out. Sounds okay. Oops. Didn't want to do that. Seems to be a little bit slowed down there on Old Metal Slug for the Neo Geo. So there we have the PowKiddy emulation device. It did start off pretty promising. It's got a nice build quality. It feels really good in the hand. It's got a lovely big screen. But the quality of the emulation on this device is a little bit hit and miss. The sound on the CPS stuff doesn't sound right, and the Neo Geo stuff doesn't sound right, but the speed seems to be there. The Mega Drive stuff seemed okay, Game Boy Advance stuff seemed okay as well. Super Nintendo stuff, from what I could play, didn't seem very good at all. Usual issues, runs too fast and runs too slow. NES stuff works as normal, always does. The problem I have with this is the micro SD slot. I'm not joking, that really did get very, very hot when using the machine. Now, I don't know if this one is faulty or not, but it certainly, could burn somebody. It did get pretty hot, when my finger rubbed up against the micro SD card slot. Plus, I can't access the micro SD card at all. There doesn't seem to be any options on this. But anyway, maybe this is a faulty unit, who knows. But if you do fancy picking one of these up, then the link is in the video description down below. As I said, this is from Tomtop arcade site, is that right? Yeah, Tomtop. They sell lots of these devices from China. So yeah, if you're up for it, check it out. Anyway, I'll be back soon with something that looks like a PlayStation 3 Pro. Yeah. So I'm sure you'll be looking forward to seeing that one. Until next time, keep on gaming and enjoy your games.